So should Christians celebrate this day?
Good, thank you so much. So before I answer that question, I want to say something so that we can understand exactly who was Jesus and why did Jesus come.
Yeah.
What was God's idea in the first place? What was at the back of God's mind when He thought of creating man? Why? What was at the back of God's mind? There are questions that I normally really ask. Where's man coming from? Why did God create man and place man upon the earth? Why? From scriptures, this is what I've discovered. Number one, God who is invisible wanted to be visible.
Yeah.
God who is intangible wanted to be tangible. God who is unseen wanted to be seen. And how will He be seen? Remember, God is eternal. God is a spirit. So He needs to create time. Time is an interruption of eternity. He needs to create time. He needs to place man in time, so that when He comes into the man, people can have access to Him by coming in contact with the man. Because if you don't know who Jesus was, you are not going to understand who the Christian is. Because why did Jesus come? Number one, Jesus came as the pattern man. The man that God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. Became a reality in the person of Jesus. Adam fell, so God could not have the perfect example of the kind of a man that He intended to have upon the earth. That's why God needed to put on flesh and become a man, and come to this world. That's why the greatest debate we have in church history today is the person of Jesus. Who was Jesus? Was Jesus a God or was He a man? If you cannot answer that question, then your Christianity will not be powerful. Yeah, who was Jesus? Many people will say He was a God. So when you say He's a God, it means we cannot ever live like Him. And then many people come inside and say He was a man, that He was anointed, that He has the Spirit of God upon Him. That means He cannot save us. If He's just a man, that means He cannot save us. So who was Jesus?
Yeah.
Now, if you cannot answer that question, you may not know who we are as believers. Anyway, Jesus was the first ever God man. He was not just a man. He was a God. He was not just a God. He was a man. So that is why till tomorrow, that's the greatest debate. And how is that important? That's why when He came to the earth, they called His name Emmanuel. What's the meaning of Emmanuel? God with us, right? And they call Him Son of God. So was He a man? Was He God with us? Everything just confuses a lot of people. Firstly, Jesus came to be as a pattern man, the kind of a man that you look at. So, if you want to know who you are, look at Jesus. If you want to know how you were supposed to live your life, look at Jesus. If you want to know who God is, look at Jesus. Because in Jesus is the revelation of God and the revelation of man. So the way He lived, that's how we're supposed to live. I normally tell people, very soon this December, many of you will be watching Jesus film. Do you know what? It's not Jesus film you are watching, it's you are watching. That very person you are watching, that's the exact way you were supposed to live. And if you are not living your life like the Jesus film you watch, the Jesus that is in that film that you are watching, you are living a low standard life.
Okay.
All of us are supposed to live at that level. So secondly, He came to redeem us, like the prophet said. He came to redeem man because man has fallen. So man needs to be helped. Man needs to be redeemed. So that's why He must be a God man to redeem us. Because God Himself cannot just save us by Himself. He needs to be a man to save us. So Jesus was a God man. And then tell you, why did Jesus come? He came so that He can duplicate Himself into all of us. He came to come into man. Why? Because that was His original idea. For information, the house of God is not the building that we go there every Sunday.
That is it.
The Bible says God does not dwell in hands that is bare with hands.
Yeah.
Building that is bare with hands. No. Where does God dwell? Say, don't you know that you are the temple of the living God and the Spirit of God dwells in you?
Right.
So we men, you and I listening to me, you are the temple of God. So now, if God comes into your life, God has taken over your house, His house, because you are God's private resident. Now I tell people. So if God is not in you, definitely maybe demons are in you, and God wants to take possession of your life until